pay an ink with Basil and have them discard a card. They have to get rid of John, just like that. Too good.
NANI?
What's up? I'm Ben, and today we're going to play a Jafar deck, but we're playing it mostly because we want to play this Basil card. So how do we find this deck? I went over to cards, and then I clicked on green, and I knew I wanted to play my Basil card. So I clicked on Basil, and then on dreamporn.inc, you can click into the card, and then it has the popular decks that card appears in right here. And then I click this top link. This is by Alpha Jabo, and you can subscribe to Alpha Jabo and watch his video here. This list has been updated with some new set 6 cards from Azurite C, and it's utilizing the Iago card all the way from set 5, one set ago, the current set. I didn't know he was that new. I thought he was set 4, but he is definitely set 5. And it also has this Magicka Dispel, the one that is a good tech right now because it says during your opponent's turn, if an effect will cause you to discard one or more cards from your hand, don't discard that card. We don't want to discard. In fact, we want to draw cards because we have Jafar, the striking illusionist here, that says when he's exerted and we draw a card on our turn, we gain a lore. Is it during our turn? Yeah, it's during our turn. It's not during an opponent's turn. That would be crazy with Diablo. It's also got this new Diablo from Azurite C. It says when this character is banished, you may draw a card. It's a good deal indeed. And the Basil card, the star of the show, why we want to play this deck. See what the Basil do. It says during your turn, whenever a card is put into your inkwell, you may pay 1 ink to have chosen opponent choose and discard a card. So good. No matter what, whenever you ink, you can pay that ink to have them discard a card. The Wombo combo, if you have 2 Basils on board, pay 2 ink. Make them discard 2 cards. So sick. It's also got the Bend to My Will action card. It's a 7-cost uninkable action card that has your opponent discard their entire hand. We have the Has Set My Heart song card and the second star to the right, which if you double sing it with Ursula, that's 10 lore. And then it's got this location, which I haven't read yet. Let's read it together. It says whenever a character is challenged while here, each opponent chooses and discards a card. Ooh, baby, too good. We like it. Also has this Genie here. Genie is like the rabbit, but a little bit different. The rabbit is a 2/3 character that quests for 1. This one is a 2/4 character that quests for 2. So you're getting more lore and you're getting a little bit more survivability. And it says when you play this character, draw a card. That's what's up. We like drawing cards when we're playing Jafar. So let's play this on Ink Table together and we'll see if we can get a win.
Things that we learned in this video. Jafar decks are up to something different. Number 2, Basil is so good because you can use the ink that you inked for the ability of Basil. So like if it's the first card, but if you're in like blue and it says the ink enters exerted, then you can't use it. But for the most part in green, you're just putting down an ink into your inkwell, and then you can use that ink right away for the ability. It's built in. It's built-in discard. It's so good. And number 3, I'm excited to try Basil in a non-Jafar build.
We are going to be going up against a green-blue deck that has the same Bend to My Will action card. So there's option there for them to discard us. So we want to mitigate that. We kind of love this hand, especially that we can discard this to shift the bird on turn 1. Everything's looking pretty good here. So we're not going to mulligan a single thing. We're going to ink the Ursula. Is that what we're inking? Sure does look like it. It looks like we're going to ink the We Don't Talk About Bruno, saving the Ursula, and then we get to play our Diablo. We can shift our Diablo this turn by discarding an action card, but we're not going to do it. We're going to keep it for a little surprise. It's a 0/1 card. Bad stat line, but good effect. Good draw effect. They play the Jasmine. If they shift onto this Jasmine, we're going to have to discard our whole hand. So we need to not let that happen. So we are going to ink Ursula, and we are going to play this bird, shifting it and discarding the Bend to My Will. And then the bird is going to get to sing Friends on the Other Side. That's going to get us 2 additional cards. We get a Jafar and Basil. Basil's who we want to play, and then we can also play the Ursula to look at their hand, see if they have a song card. They do have a song card there, so we are going to rip it out of their hand and then pass the turn. overall, not too bad. When they draw a card, we get to draw a card with our Exerted Diablo Devoted Herald. We have Morph, and Morph can shift into Basil or into Jafar. We like either way. We have the Mim Fox, which sadly I think we're going to ink at this point, and then we are going to play our Morph. So hopefully next turn we can shift our Basil. The shift costs 4, and that's okay with us. We are going to challenge the Jasmine so they can't shift it later. Takes it out, only takes 1 damage to us, and that's okay. And then we are going to quest our Ursula for 1 big one, and then we pass the turn. When they draw, we draw. Yes, sure. We get a We Don't Talk About Bruno, which could be useful if they play out a good character this turn. If they play a good character, then we're able to sing it. They get rid of it with Ursula, Deceiver of All. We get the 4-drop Uninkable Genie. We're going to go for Basil because that's the star of the show here. We're going to go ahead and play Basil onto the Morph. There it is. And then we can quest our bird. And we are going to challenge into this Ursula because we're wild like that. And then do we quest the Basil? Quest for 2. It's a 4/5. I think we can. Because this can only do 2 damage. I don't think they have any rushers. I think we should be good. There are any rushers in blue-green? They play their own Diablo. They're up at 3 lore. They quest again. No, they sing 1 jump ahead. Boom, ramped up. All right, we have our Do Not Discard card, and we have our Draw card. I think what we want to go for is our Draw card. That lets us draw an Iago. And then if we ink Iago, we pay an ink with Basil and have them discard a card. They have to get rid of John, just like that. Too good. And then we can sing Sudden Chill with Diablo to have them discard their other card. This was a more heavy discard deck. This one just has Basil. Discard it 1 at a time in a Sudden Chill. We're good to go. We can challenge our Ursula into this Ursula. And then I think Basil's going to go ahead and take out this Ursula, right? We'll go ahead and challenge it. Maybe that's the wrong thing to do because this puts a damage on it, puts it to 4 willpower. I think we're going to be okay with taking out that Ursula. When they draw a card, we get to draw a card. It's Sudden Chill. They play Iago. They do a damage to our Ursula and take her out. Now our Ursula can't do the things. We have, whenever a character is challenged by here, each opponent chooses and discards a card. I think what we want to do is ink Sudden Chill at this point, and then we pay the ink to have them discard a card, and then we can play the Perilous Maze, and then we can move Basil to the Perilous Maze. We can challenge our bird into their bird. We can challenge this one. That puts us at 2. This can only do 2 more to it. And then we can quest our Genie. And then we still have enough ink to move Genie to location. It's a good deal. And then we pass. Maybe we should have let them keep the Diablo because whenever they draw a card, we get to discard it by inking anything. And we're probably going to ink something. They have the Sudden Chill, so keeping the Magic-E Dispel was a mistake, but that's okay with us. We need to take out Iago. If I take 2 damage back, I'll be okay. So I will challenge the Iago. No valid targets to challenge. Challenge. No valid targets to challenge. Tell me this is evasive. Oh, baby! And then this one is also evasive. Does 2 back. Maybe it'd be smart to do the challenges into there. And then we can quest him. And then do we play that? I think definitely we play that just in case they have us discard a card. We don't want to have that happen. And then we can move that to location. And then we pass the turn. We should probably be questing here instead of attacking with Genie. But we're just attacking with Genie. Does this only do 1 back? Does this have resist or something? Why did this not take... How did that take one less? What happened? Why did it take one less damage? I attacked with it and then it attacked me. That should be 4 damage, yes? What's going on here, feller? Do we keep it? I think so. We'll go ahead and quest. And quest. And pass. We're keeping the card. We should not have kept the card. That was a huge mistake. Especially against a discard deck. But we like the Jafar. They quest Iago. Iago quest for 1. And it makes action cards cost 1 less. We get a genie. So we're going to get to play genie. When we play genie, we get to draw a card. We have the bend my will. And then we will quest for another 2. And we will challenge into this lady, Jasmine. And then we're going to move genie to the location. And then we pass the turn. And then I think we got it unlocked. Because if they don't take out this and that, we have to discard a card. They have all the answers. Too bad. They have a 1 jump ahead. There's nothing for us to discard anymore. I am way far down into the screen. I was chilling out. We can ink this. We pay an ink to have them discard, but they have no card to discard. And then we can just quest for the win. We're going to quest Basil, and then the winning lore will be with Genie. And then we'll do one more to see if we can get it going again. We have second star to the right. We have our Basil. I think we want to keep Basil and try to find a morph or a Basil target. We have not seen the Basil target. We can ink. Looks like we're inking Iago. Why would we ink Iago? Pay 2 less. 3. Looks like we're inking Iago, and then we're passing. Do you agree with inking Iago? Probably. There's Jasmine. We can ink another card. This one. And then we can play Ursula, see if they have a song. They have 2 1-jumps. It's a good thing to get rid of one of those. And then we can pass the turn. We expect to see their 1-jump. They quest. And they play an Ursula to rip our friends on the other side. We can quest and Fox here. But we will sadly have to ink a Basil. So we will quest. Boop. And then we will play Fox, bounce Ursula, challenge the Jasmine. Jasmine's down. And then we pass the turn. They're up at 3 ink. They play an Ursula. Gets rid of our second star to the right. That's okay. I didn't want to use it anyway. They play 1 jump ahead. The Wombo combo. They're already up at 4 lore. We get Iago again. Do we play Iago or they did 1 jump ahead? That's 2 of them gone, yeah? So I don't think we need her anymore. And then we can play Iago. See if we get some Wombo combos. And then the Fox can challenge into the Ursula, clearing another character. That's 2 characters the Fox has gotten. Pretty good deal. They're up at 5 ink. They challenge into our Fox, get rid of it. We see their own Iago come into play. We get a Has Set My Heart, Banished Chosen Item. Don't need to do that. So we will, in fact, ink it and play the bird. We will quest Iago. And then it looks like we're passing the turn. We made it so they could easily discard this, but that's okay with us. They quest the bird. Up at 2 lore. We get friends on the other side, so we are going to sing that with Diablo. Gets us 2 cards. Hopefully we could ink 1. We are going to ink our morph. And play our Basil. And we are going to challenge this Iago Takes 2 damage, so if they go into Diablo, it's also going to do a damage. And we'll be A-okay. When they draw a card, we draw a card. They play Prince John. We'll see if they have a discard song. Looks like they quest their muses. Leaving their muses super vulnerable for Basil to take out. We have our discard fodder now. So we are going to ink Has Set My Heart. And then that is going to make us pay an ink with Basil to have them discard a card. Gets rid of their Bend to My Will, which is good news. And then we can play our Genie. When we play Genie, we get to draw a card. We can play our Morph. Good deals. And then we can either take out this Iago so they can't take out Diablo, which is something that we would like to do. So we will go ahead and do that. So our Iago is going to trade into their Iago. Because Iago was evasive, and we don't want the evasive hitting the Diablo. And then we get to quest our Diablo. Looks like Basil is going to take out the Muses, because the Muses is a big threat to us. If they sing a song, they get to bounce Diablo back to hand, and we don't like that. We want to mitigate the risk. When they draw a card, we get to draw a card, and then by now, they're kind of cooked. We're going to be able to discard their thing here. So I think we will... Do we sing it? We just pay for it. We just play that card, bounce the bird, because we can't bounce this. It has ward. And then we can play a Diablo and play a Diablo. And unless they draw 2 cards, unless they draw Jasmine and Jasmine to shift the Jasmine on, we'll be good to go. We can quest and quest and quest. And we're not going to quest our Morph, because if they throw in a Morph, we'll be having a bad time. We don't want that. We want to be able to shift into Jafar. We get 2 Jafars. So we are going to hard cast Jafar. Or shift Jafar. I think we shift Jafar. Why would we shift Jafar when we could shift into a Basil? And then we're going to quest. We're not going to ink it because we want to play another one of them. But we are questing for a whole bunch. So maybe we don't need to not ink it. Maybe that's just a win more. We are going to quest our 2 birds. Looking like we're inking this Jafar. And then we pass the turn. We ink it. It's okay. When they draw a card, we draw a card at sudden show. We have to discard our card. That's what it do be like when we discard a card. They draw a card. When they draw a card, we draw a card. And then they bounced a card. They bounced our Genie. So then we will quest Jafar. And then we play Genie. When we play Genie, we draw a card, and then that gets us a lore. And then we will ink Has Set My Heart. We pay an ink to have them discard. Does it work? Not a chance. And then we play our Magicka Dispel. And then there we go. We're going to quest with our Basil for the win. Thank you so much for watching. We put out new videos every day. Please hit the subscribe button. Please smash the subscribe button. Please punch the subscribe button in the face. Thanks for watching. Bye.